Trustin here with the Trustin and Jeff Show, episode number 22. I know, it's a Wednesday. Yesterday was hectic. We worked about 10, 11 hours, got home late. We had to push it to today, and we made it happen.
Yeah, we didn't. We pretty much we left the house at 8, didn't get home till about 8:30. So yeah, worked 11 and a half hours, long day.
Yeah,
but yeah, man, excited. Things have been busy, but busy good in a good way. Crazy. I figured we'd talk some conspiracy talk tonight.
So what's the latest conspiracy theory?
I don't know about the latest. Now, okay, so underground bases is something I've seen a lot about, right? Like Dulce and like Dulce, New Mexico is a big one that's like supposedly like an underground base. One of the most compelling stories I've heard was this guy. Okay, his oh man, now I'm gonna have to do a Google search while we're talking. So this guy, he one of the big craziest stories I heard. His claims were the guy was literally missing fingers, and he had claims that he had actually had lost his fingers to like an alien laser in a gun battle with a giant alien at the Dulce base. Okay, now the crazy thing about
this guy had a bunch of scars all over his back.
I don't know if he had scars. I know he was missing 3 fingers. Now, I know once he started coming out...
Did he say that someone sacrificed their life for him on an elevator?
I think so. I think we're talking about the same guy.
Yeah, I think I've seen that one.
And then he ended up dead. They ended up killing...
Yeah.
Well, he ended up dead, like, when
his body... Wasn't his body swollen with, like, a hose around his neck? Or was that...
It was some fishy death. It was, like, they ruled it as suicide, but it was very, very fishy. And he
like suicide, 2 gunshots to the back of the
head.
Yeah,
he pretty much had said, like, he, you know, before this, like, if he was suicided, that he was suicided, you know, or whatever. Or
that if he was suicided, that it was, like, not his deal, that someone else did it.
Now, this guy, the craziest thing that was with him, though, this was a factual thing, was his dad was... his father was part of the Project Paperclip thing.
Now, which one was Project Paperclip?
That's where we brought over the Nazis.
Oh,
the Nazi,
to work on the atomic bomb.
Yeah, we brought over, like,
the
guy who started NASA, what's his name? Von Braun. Yeah, we brought over him and a couple other 1,000 Nazis that were high level with intelligence that we wanted, and his father was one of them, and was like... I think he designed aircraft carriers or something like that. So this guy, like, I don't know, there was some credibility to him, like, where he might have been plugged in, like he
might have had some connections.
Yeah, because, like, the whole Project Paperclip thing was, like, pretty much where the CIA was like, hey, these people are probably an asset because they knew the Cold War was coming, you know, with Stalin, and... they grabbed up, same with the Russians. They grabbed up as much as they could of the high-level Nazis, too. But it's like I don't know, man, like, it's just crazy that we made deals with them like we did and, like, put them up nicely in America, like, you know, but...
Well, I mean, but at that time, you couldn't really put too much morals because you had an objective, you know what I mean? They were trying to get the atomic bomb first.
Well, and it was the goal was to beat communism and, like, that thing, but that thing.
It was like dealing with the necessary evil.
That thinking failed us though a few times. Like because we kept trying to, like, defeat communism at all cost, and, like, defeating an idea
can kind of strengthen it.
Exactly. Yeah. An idea is something like
because the more you push against it, it has, like, more of an
idea. You know what I mean?
Where it, like, raises in popularity in some way.
Yeah. It's the idea of revolution, and, like, the idea that, like, can live and grow and simmer.
Well, in trying to destroy it gives it more publicity to then fuel the fire of it going on.
So yeah, I don't know, like, not like I get what they were trying to do, I get why they were trying to do it. It just seems like we sacrificed a lot of American lives and integrity at the time. Yeah. In doing so, I guess is what I'm saying, because, like, yeah. But Yeah, it's crazy.
Now that alien attack, though, from what I remember of the story, that one was a crazy one because like they were like underground, and then
what about the Miami deal?
oh, where they
Nobody's
think
about
aliens
that.
appeared and there was a bunch of police all in one spot.
Yeah, we're told that it was 15 unruly kids, but yet you got all these people.
Had every police officer and all of like fucking where was it again? Miami.
Miami. Yeah.
All of Miami.
Dade County or whatever. Yeah.
Plus all the neighboring counties.
Yeah.
Everybody was there.
Yeah, I mean they had the whole block blocked off. I mean it was way overkill. And then for the people to come out, like there were so many people who came out and said they seemed like an alien glitching in and out of reality, more or less.
You know how weird that would be? Like, going outside, seeing something glitch in and out of reality, and you're not on something?
Now the fact that they say it was glitching in and out, okay, Bluebeam, okay, Project Bluebeam, that's a big conspiracy theory, right, where like they believe that eventually we're going to get technology to where we can like, you know, we have hologram technology now, right?
Yeah.
So like they're saying eventually we'll be able to have such good hologram technology, they can just pretty much put like a fleet of alien invading craft up in the sky, like, hey, the aliens are coming on.
Oh, to fake an alien invasion.
Yeah. So that's Project Bluebeam. They've believed like this has been a huge conspiracy theory for a long time, and yeah. So like,
man, can you imagine?
That's what makes me think
the
about
amount
Miami.
of work it would take to fake an alien invasion.
But think about that though. Like with what happened in that. I mean, if you take the accounts of eyewitness people. Yeah.
Now,
with what they say they seen.
What do you think? Do you think
was it a hologram or a real alien?
Yeah.
Was it a time warp? Now, and you know another crazy thing I heard about Miami, right?
If you had to give it odds, instead of saying which one you think it is, what would you say the odds are that it was an alien or that it was the government trying to stage an alien thing?
Listen to this, okay? If you take the coordinates of that mall and you reverse it, okay, guess where you would end up on Earth? If you reverse them coordinates, like put the number in backwards, you'd end up in Antarctica, pretty much the middle of Antarctica.
Yeah.
So what if they
just messed up the coordinates?
Put the coordinates to their time warp machine in backwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know what's funny? We always think of
they
aliens.
They don't have autocorrect on their time warp machines.
We always think that aliens have everything right, but they're probably just as prone to mistakes.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like what if it like I know it sounds silly, like, oh well, why would they put the? But,
they got in trouble.
I mean, like
when they got back, they got told off. Like they were probably.
Well, you hear all about what we hear about, like with Antarctica and all that, like all the conspiracy theories around that, and then like the fact, like when I heard that, and then I checked into that when I heard that with the Miami-Dade thing, the alien thing, I was like, it made me almost, I was like, is it? I mean, it really seemed like there was something to the backwards coordinate idea, and then the fact that was true was even more mind blowing because I'm like, whoa.
You know, it would be fun to go to like Antarctica where everyone says all the shit's happening, and go see if all the shit's happening there.
Look into the reports of
That'd be difficult. That'd be cold as hell.
Was it Buzz Aldrin or Neil Armstrong? One of them had went literally like 6 months from death to a special trip to Antarctica. This was like in 2016, and then right in like 2016 to 2018, there was like Neil Armstrong went down to Antarctica. I think Buzz Aldrin, John Kerry, the Russian Pope. All these big people were going down there, like, and what are they going down to look at? Like, and then if you look at the statements of Neil Armstrong right before he died, it's just really weird, man. I don't know, like, because you can't go to Antarctica. Nobody can go themselves to Antarctica. Like, there's a story that Prince Harry tried to, like, go trek across Antarctica by himself, right?
Yeah.
Or him and a friend. They thought they would be able to, they went down there for whatever reason when he was in the military and he wanted to see what was really there. So they tried to go out to scout the area together, themselves. And I guess they were brought in by like special forces out of, even in the middle of nowhere. Like they went and gathered up like, hey, you don't get to walk around here even though you're, royalty, whatever, too bad, like no, well, and what's funny is when you get into Antarctica, that goes back to the Nazis.
Yeah.
A lot of conspiracy theories all go, even the aliens, if you really think about it, goes back to the Nazis, which is kind of crazy in a way, because, yeah, they all kind of, like, have you ever seen the icebergs on, like, conspiracy theories, like, on how deep they get?
Oh, yeah, where it
or
just
how
keeps
they all
going.
tie together into each other and stuff, and it's, a lot of them do.
It's like a Wendigoon video.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, like there's a whole...
bunch of those.
I've never seen a Wendigoon. I know, like, have you ever seen, like, some of the conspiracy theories on, hang on, let me think of the name.
You want to talk about some conspiracy theories? Look at the Skinwalker shit.
So what do you think about Skinwalker Ranch?
Well, I think that shit goes down there, and that, you know,
if
you go there, you're going to experience some shit eventually.
I mean, what do you think it is? Do you think, because, like, there's so many different anomalies there.
I like to just think it's the hot spot for everything.
Yeah.
If you want to go see some shit, you go there. You know what I mean? Like, you want to go test your might, test your resolve, go fucking watch some fucking entities, like, phase into existence and run at you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want to go see if you're tough shit, go to fucking Skinwalker Ranch and camp on that shit.
Yeah. There's this thing called Mount Wilson Ranch that was, like, pretty interesting. It was like...
Sorry to interrupt. I'm just like,
it's
got me thinking, like, could you imagine just how terrifying it would be if you're camping, okay, and then a creature just phases into existence in front of you? Like, you watch it phase into existence, it comes running at you, because that's one of the stories they got on there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That actually, like, happened, so to speak. Like, come running at you and then phase out of existence before it gets to you.
Yeah, that would definitely be scary.
Or, like, the giant wolf that comes running around and try to eat their cattle.
Yeah.
Like, some shit like that.
That would definitely be scary. I mean, I don't know, there's so many, like, so the Mount Wilson Ranch, okay, that's what I was getting into. Mount Wilson is another ranch that was part of the original experiments that played into the Skinwalker Ranch. Like, so when the CIA, like, you know how the CIA had, like, that was government owned at one point, right? And they'd research there before who's the guy, the millionaire guy who owns Motel 6 bought it after the government. But anyways, when the CIA was there doing their experiments and all that, they also were using this Mount Wilson Ranch that's not far from it. And there's, like, a whole documentary on YouTube about Mount Wilson Ranch, and it goes into, like, a lot of the scientists that were there. They believe it might even be the original Skinwalker Ranch location. You know what I mean? Like, because basically it's, like, right...
And a lot of stuff goes down there.
Like, similar stuff, a lot of similar things, a lot of supernatural activity.
I've always wondered what it is with these ranches and just anomalies popping up.
You know what's funny though is so out where that stuff is, you're not it's not far from where they did a lot of the testing for the atomic bombs and stuff.
Yeah,
like, it's all out in that same area. So it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Well, I just think about this though. You're like going, you want to go you want to be a rancher, you want to own some cattle, so you go buy a ranch out in the middle of nowhere. You know what I mean? You think you're going to be some big time rancher, and then 3 months into ranching, okay, aliens just start appearing outside, shit just starts phasing into existence. Your cattle comes up dead, like,
that would definitely.
You hear the, like, it's almost like the ground's rumbling because shit's going on outside. You look out your window, there's entities just walking around. You'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
you'd be getting the hell out of there. You know?
That's definitely a bad.
Well, imagine with, like, your sight too, with the way that it's limited, so you could hear shit but you couldn't see it.
Yeah.
It's like if you like, imagine having to go outside at night or some shit, and then you just hear something come running by, but you don't get to see it.
Yeah, no, that'd be freaky. But
you think it was a bear, probably. That'd be my, like, I would assume it's some kind of animal before I'd assume it's something else.
Something else, yeah.
Because, I mean, there's also dangerous animals out there.
Yeah.
Packs of coyotes and things like that.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, I want, like, there's some, like, conspiracies that I really gravitate towards, others I don't. But there's so many, like, I think there's, like, there's a lot of them that's true that I believe are 100% true, but I think a lot of them are spun also just for disinformation. You know what I mean? Like some of the, like the flat Earth stuff and some of these things that come out, I feel like it's like a big disinformation campaign. You know what I mean? If you put so much stuff out there, then it's so hard to sift through with the truth and the, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think there's a lot of truth in a lot of them.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I don't know. What's some of your favorite ones other than Skinwalker Ranch?
I mean, conspiracy theories, I don't have that many, like, that I'm up to date on or anything like that.
The Miami thing freaks me out just because, like, it's just so weird that, like, it was in the news, it wasn't.
Yeah.
And then right before that, it was the Nevada alien sighting.
Well, I feel like the issue is whether it was aliens or it's not aliens. There's people out there who want it to be this way and people out there who want it to be that way. So everyone's pushing their narrative, so you wouldn't know unless you were there.
Well, and people get, like, where they want to only...
Because, I mean, there's people who want it to be like, there's no aliens ever. They don't exist. And then, there's probably people out there who want it to be aliens.
Yeah, and they only want to pick the stuff that supports their side of the story.
Exactly. So like... I feel like the issue is there's just too many people trying to impart their own
the way we
their
are
own
all fed,
understanding of the story that's like may not be what it was.
Well, now it's crazy too because algorithms feed us like kind of what we want to watch. You know what I mean? It's feeding you what you react to and what.
It's an echo chamber of whatever you want it to be. If you look up why the Earth is flat, it's only going to show you videos that the Earth's flat.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Is like yeah, I don't know. I think there has to be a balance, like a contrast to everything. Yeah. And I don't know. Maybe they'll find that one day with the algorithm, but I think right now, like, we're seeing the effects of like everybody just being fed their personal brand of content, which I don't know.
Oh yeah, well, it divides people too.
Yeah, I don't know that it's good for everyone.
Everyone's only getting what they want.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're just reinforcing all their narratives.
Yep.
Whether true or false, whatever. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a wild world we live in, man. Like But so I'm trying to think of some other good ones that. Have you ever heard of Mel's Hole, dude? This is a classic one. Have you ever heard of Mel's Hole though?
No,
not a dirty. It's the same as beginning to a dirty joke or nothing. But anyway, so Mel's Hole is basically it started off on the radio AM radio show that was like it's coast to coast. It's like a late night AM radio show that's like call-in radio show that's like UFO and conspiracy talk, right? So this guy calls in and like basically he says there's this hole in his land. He's tested like, dropping like propane cans down in it and shit, trying to like, you should hear something hit the bottom, right? Eventually, like, you can't hear nothing hit the bottom. So like, he calls in the show finally and starts talking about like the weird stories that surrounded this hole on his property. And apparently like his neighbor said before he had bought the property, there was like these weird stone structure around this hole, and it was kind of like something like Stonehenge supposedly or whatever. Well, the neighbor says, tells him some stuff about before he moved there, this and that, and he said he actually had a dog that like had died. He threw the dog in the hole because he had nowhere to bury him, whatever, blah blah blah. And anyways, the day after he throws the dog in the hole, the dog's back at his house alive and well.
Damn.
And yeah. So like, there's all these.
I don't know what I would think if I threw my dog down a hole and he came back. I'd be like, did I just make a deal?
Yeah.
That I don't know what I just bargained.
Yeah. So anyways,
I'd be thinking like, man, I just paid some kind of price that I don't know about.
Yeah. So this guy, something, man. I'd be like,
there's no reason as to why my dog should be.
Yeah. I don't know if I trust.
Is that your dog?
Yeah.
Or is it like an actual like skinwalker?
Yeah. So So, anyways, he calls in, tells some weird stories behind this hole. How you can't ever hear nothing hit the bottom. People been dumping in it for years. Still, you can't see nothing accumulating in it. Anyways. Well, he calls, like 6 months goes by, nothing else happens. He calls back in the radio show, and he's like, hey, you won't believe what happened, blah, blah, a few months after I called in the show, I'm coming up the mountain to my house, and the road to my house is blocked off by U.S. Army, and they're not letting me on my property. And he started to try to push the issue, and they're like, hey, look, basically, the stuff you were growing at your house, well, if you push the issue, you're going to get federal charges.
I see.
He was growing marijuana. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they kind of strong-armed me not to push any illegal shit about going on the property. And long story short, this goes on for a couple years on the radio show with him calling in, this and that. And nobody ever really got to find out.
So he was never allowed back on his own property?
Supposedly, more or less it became such a problem where he ended up having to sell the property off. He's more or less strong-armed off his own property.
Yeah.
But,
see, if I had something like that, I don't know if I would, I know it's nice to shout it from the rooftops, but you really know what's going to happen.
That's what I'm saying. He tried, and then,
I would have recorded so much evidence that, by the time they could get there, there was nothing they could do.
Something,
you know what I mean? I'd get so much of it stored on so many different storage drives and so many, you know what I mean? Just to make it just impossible to track down, where every single file was.
Yeah.
That way, if they did strong-arm me off, then I have something to do.
Oh, my. Have you ever seen the guy that created McAfee?
Yeah, that guy.
Dude, oh my God.
When he ran across the fucking country,
into
other countries.
Yeah, he ended up going to prison and
they were trying to kill him.
No. So, okay, do you remember the buildings that went down in Florida? The buildings, they collapsed 2 years ago in Florida.
No.
It was these big, super nice, high sky-rise condos, and they collapsed down in Florida. Anyways, them were supposedly that is where he kept his servers. McAfee's where he had because supposedly he had dirt on a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because they all gave access to all their shit. For the security, or antivirus protection, whatever it was that his program was. But anyways, so
that is genius, though,
dude. So he supposedly had all this dirt.
Yeah, get all of their files.
Yeah, and he was one of the first ones in the game, so he had everybody's shit. And but supposedly the address he put out for his backup server and everything was the location of this building that just all of a sudden out of nowhere these sky-rise high dollar apartments fall to the ground in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And that's I don't know, that's
what
crazy.
What was the
that's
difference in time from when they found
out
to when it happened?
A couple years. I mean, not that long. It really wasn't that long a period of time. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying that's 100% true, but I remember back when all this had happened that there was some correlation between that building that went down in Florida and him. He had posted I don't know, something about while he was in prison, right before he died in prison. I think he died in prison, didn't he?
I don't know what the
McAfee guy.
Is.
I think he died in prison. I'm not sure, but he had posted something. He'd emailed out or something. There's he'd released something about having a backup, plan on how to get out or something because of what all he had. But that was a crazy documentary. If you ever look into a documentary about the McAfee guy, dude, that is crazy. He's buying kilos of bath salts and running around with these $20 crack, ladies of the night, whatever you want to call them, but literally the worst ones, the $5, the one low dollar ones, and this dude's running around with millions of dollars in duffel bags and in these crazy it was just crazy, dude. He's on yachts shooting shotguns. And, I mean, it's just wow,
some people live a completely different life.
It's just something else, man. It was pretty wild.
Else.
It was a wild life. Inside the, you're wow, how's this guy, how is he so smart to create all this and, create such a company and then be this much of a maniac?
Yeah.
Because
some people get that mix of all the right,
Yeah, he was a straight maniac, dude.
All the right
But yeah, that was
traits.
Yeah, that just makes you wonder because the way he ended up in prison, like I want to really, I need to go back and rewatch some of the documentaries about that because it was weird how he ended up getting in trouble, and then because he ended up in prison somewhere like overseas, like some locked up and abroad shit, like you know what I mean. He didn't even get locked up in like a American prison or nothing. Like he was way some like second, third world country, you know. So like yeah. Makes you wonder if somebody didn't really have him offed, you know?
See, I think with that situation is it's like it's so equally plausible that any of that happened. Whether they offed him or he just fucking...
Well, that's like with the Epstein thing, and that's what's crazy about that is like the chances...
Well, the lifestyle you live to get to that position, like you're in... everybody's like list. You're on everybody's list. Like if shit starts going down, shit
goes bad. There's a lot of people that have good reasons to want you gone.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, but see, the thing with Epstein was so great.
Everyone goes there. Like everybody went there.
Well, so with that whole deal, like it had to be orchestrated from higher up because listen, a high level case in Nowhere County. Small town, West Virginia. Okay, one of the poorest state, the poorest of the 50 states, right? West Virginia has to be a bottom, all right? So, no diss to them, but just it's factual. Anyways, now the poorest county in West Virginia, their jail wouldn't. I don't see that if they had a high level case of someone like not even close to that status, not even close to that status that Epstein was. They're not going to have him in a cell where the whole security block, the whole security's down for that whole block. What do you know? If the guy's on watch, guess what? You know what I mean? Like he's got 50 outfits in his cell, even though he just came off suicide watch, which don't even make sense because like anybody's ever been in jail knows you're lucky to get an extra outfit if you're you know what I mean, let alone
you're not getting 50. No 50.
Like like when you see the pictures of his cell, it just didn't even add up to people.
Just looked way different.
Yeah, there's clothes everywhere, like just a federal holding facility for top level guys like him. How do the cameras go down? Yeah, it just don't seem plausible.
Well, you think they'd have backups?
Yeah,
and all that.
It's a special holding facility in Manhattan, like that, like. So, like, it just, don't add up, man.
I wonder how old the holding facility was.
I don't know. I know there was some, like, real violation, like, some real issues with it after all that came up with him. So, maybe they shut it down at this point because...
It could have just been at the end of its lifespan. I'm not saying that, what happened
but
didn't happen. I'm just saying,
case, but, because they definitely stretched stuff out as long, to save money way longer.
Didn't he get shot in the head twice?
No, he had like
or was he the one who got strangled? But it
was
like
supposedly like
it like got swelled into his body.
He had a fracture that was basically like when you hang yourself, you normally don't fracture some little bone.
Yeah, in your neck.
But normally, if someone strangles you because the weight the leverage
it breaks it
from the front, it breaks this little bone in your throat. Apparently. Epstein showed signs of being strangled more than actual hanging himself. But
I see.
The verdict was he hung himself.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think anybody believes that. Not most people. But too many people had very good reasons to want him dead,
Yeah, well, he probably had as much dirt on those people as the McAfee guy had dirt on the companies that
he had even
had.
more. Like, I mean, dude, he
they
has
had everybody there.
He has a painting from when
there was some crazy parties.
He's got a painting of Bill Clinton, in a blue dress at his New York penthouse or whatever. Like, kind of like a I got you motherfucker, like by the balls type thing. Like,
well, what's weird is he did that with like everybody.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Like it was one of those.
Where do you think his money came from? Blackmail.
Yeah.
Like, once I don't know. Like,
think of the stress you got to have to strategically blackmail so many high level people at once just to like get favorable
or what if he wasn't
odds.
Blackmailing them? What if he was just like because his hustle seemed to be just hiring underage girls to.
Just for them to kind of
let
loose.
Pimp, well, they so maybe
the blackmail was just
maybe it was just human trafficking.
Yeah.
Which either way, it's just as bad as the other.
It just kind of came with it all.
it's just creepy, dude, that people aren't demanding answers. Even after all this, like with the accusations that were thrown out with him, I think whether because I hear people like, oh, just because people are on a flight log don't mean that's why they were there. Well, no, it don't. But don't we damn sure deserve answers? You know what I mean? Don't we deserve explanations of why they were there? Why our leadership are off gallivanting on pedo islands? Like, I don't know. Like, it seems like explanations. Explanations are certainly due. Yeah.
What? Is his island still owned by his estate, or did it get sold
I don't know
and purchased by
how that
else?
went.
Because if it's still owned by his estate, or if one of them purchased it, there might still be stuff going on.
Supposedly, he had bought sea urchins to surround the island with, and like sea urchins are just like these things that sting you if you're in the water.
Yeah,
like, they just fucking hurt you. But
they're real bad for you. They can. I think
like,
they can
you couldn't
kill
even.
you somehow.
Yeah, I guess you couldn't even swim off the island. Like, if you wanted, like, it's just crazy, dude.
Dad, it is crazy. Imagine like you just go swimming and then like 100 sea urchins prick you.
Yeah, that's supposed to be true, but yeah.
Or just imagine there's a big storm and a flood, and then the sea urchins come rolling on to the actual island, and then they sting you that way.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that
backfire,
could happen.
Yeah. Backfire on the person who put them there, hopefully. But yeah, it's just crazy, man. But yeah, I don't know. I could always talk about good old alien conspiracies. Like, I don't know, something always drew me to alien conspiracies, even haunted stories sometimes. Like, I don't know if it was growing up on like Unsolved Mysteries as a kid or like sightings and shows like that, but like, yeah, man, it definitely piqued my interest though. Like Roswell or like the Fire in the Sky story. The what was it, Travis? I forget his name. The logger that came up, like his friends seen him abducted, right? And sucked up into a light in the sky in Arizona in a logging camp. And then, like, he went missing. They went and even told the police, and the police thought they were just all drunk.
Damn.
Like, oh, yeah, Barty got sucked up by a UFO last night. And they thought they were crazy, right off as a bunch of guys who drank too much. Well, 3 days later, was it Travis Walton, I think? Anyways, he walks in, goes stumbling into town. Thought it was like the next morning, 5 hours later. Here it's been 3 days, and like, yeah, like it's one of the bigger like abduction stories. But yeah, it's pretty crazy because like there was a whole truckload, like, a whole crew of guys seen it happen.
That would be scary.
Yeah, dude.
Just watch somebody get abducted.
Yeah. There's man, Fire in the Sky. It's an old movie, but it's a really good movie, man. It's all about it. But yeah, man, that's a crazy one too. But that's one of the ones I remember watching as a kid, and like, they kind of like just made it all be like, wow.
The dude just asked me if I could go barefoot. I think a dude wants to see my feet, bro.
Yeah, that's definitely not the right stream for.
Oh, because he probably seen my socks. I'm wearing socks.
Yeah, it might be it. But yeah, fucking been crazy, man. But
that's the funniest thing I've heard so far.
Yeah. Wrong stream.
Yeah.
Are you on the right app, sir?
About to show him my foot, bro.
I think you're in the wrong place, sir.
Shit, this is the wrong place to be trying to look at feet, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some female streamer out there.
Yeah, maybe maybe OF that might work. I don't know. Not here.
Yeah.
Not
That's
here.
Some funny
not
shit,
guy.
bro.
I know.
I've never had someone ask me that.
It's crazy, dude.
Maybe he was trying to look at your feet. I don't know, bro.
I don't know. I know, like, dude, I remember, like, the Orange is the New Black. Do you remember when they were selling?
Oh, now he's apologizing.
All right.
Well, all right.
You're
well,
good.
It's fine. You
You're
can
good.
stick around. I've just never had someone ask for me to go barefoot in my life.
You never know on YouTube. You got,
Yeah.
There's a lot of good and bad on here, but everybody's welcome here.
Yeah.
As long as they're not trying to get weird feet pics, we're cool.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, anyways, back to conspiracies and aliens, and off the feet.
Oh, here's
where was
something.
I
Did you
going?
hear about Neuralink and how it's doing? The first guy with it, like he says playing video games, it's like an aimbot in his head.
Is that the guy that we were listening? I might have been listening to him the other day.
He
Is
was
he
on the Joe
partially
Rogan
paralyzed?
podcast, I think.
He's partially paralyzed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was listening to this the other day.
Yeah.
That was pretty crazy. Like to listen to the Neuralink technology and like
Yeah.
how like they can't even like the
when he says it's not up to like where you can play Call of Duty yet, but he can play most games and it's like having an aimbot.
I mean, I bet that's really cool for him, considering
Well,
he's
paraplegic. He says
he's
you can just think
paraplegic.
about like moving your hand and it'll happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you were gonna do something on the screen,
Yeah.
you would think about how you would move your hand for it and it would just move.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like I was listening
but
to
it's
it,
like much
and
faster.
it was really cool to hear, because as someone in his spot, I mean, that takes him like to, like, yeah, granted he can't enjoy the world, like, you know, move around like we can,
Yeah.
but dude,
I mean, the
freedom,
virtual world, if
the
he's in
freedom that
VR,
gives you in the virtual world, or even on the internet,
yeah.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
I mean, imagine being able to grind out like your online business, just sitting back and
Or
thinking hard at the screen.
editing,
Yeah.
or just sitting here editing, just like thinking,
Just stare
of,
at the
like,
screen, think about what you want to do.
thinking about where I want it to cut, and then it just cuts right on that second mark that I think of, instead of like having to, like, you know how you have, you know what I'm saying, like, it's so yeah,
bro, but that would be so weird. Like, I can't believe we're in this time and place right now in history. Like,
well, did you hear about the wiring?
Think about this though, like just being able to look at a screen and it just fucking do what you want it to do.
No, I know.
And the wiring, it's minimal right now. It still goes into your brain, but like they want to do full interface.
Well, he was talking about the wiring, like how some of the wires that go throughout his brain, like not the main wire, but I guess some of the stuff that goes to like different parts of the brain to, like, you know, to know if he's trying to move his left hand or right hand, or, you know what I mean, to read them signals that he's giving it. I guess they're like these little like hairs. But they're smaller than hairs.
Yeah.
They're like they're so small that even the best machinery we got can't detect them on like an X-ray or anything. Like, if there was a machine, like if we did invest into making a machine that could see these wire hair, tiny little things that they use for wires, basically, like, there's nothing to even pick it up, like, right now. And if there was anything that could, like, that the machine would kill him, because the amount of heat or whatever it would have to put off for the reading or whatever to pick these things up. That's how, like, fine and minute these wiring systems are that they have throughout his brain. So, like, it was really interesting from what I heard about it, and it sounded really exciting, especially even for people, like I said, that's like with major disabilities or limitations, because, like, just, I mean, because the metaverse is a huge, I mean, there's a lot you could do. You know what I mean? It's all how you use everything. There's a good way to use everything, bad way to use it, and I think it could be a cool tool for people with disabilities and stuff to help them
I believe
integrated.
anything can be used for good and anything can be used for the wrong reason.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it'll be really good to help people, like, you know, with like, you know, maybe paraplegics, whatever. Like,
I got a question for you. What do you think about when it comes to the point to where you not getting a brain implant actually hinders you in your life? Like, to where you won't be able to perform as well as everyone else because everyone eventually would have.
Well, like, upgrade to like a, like,
like where upgrading is almost
to like a sentient being or something, or like not.
Well, just
not
a
like
Neuralink of some kind that would give you the ability to, say, think faster or perceive things faster to help you, you know, or like to where you could do stuff on the screen, or
I mean,
like help translate languages in real time for you, like give you sort of like an internet
I think
in
it's
your
awesome,
head type
like,
deal.
But I think at the same time, like, I feel like we're giving a lot of access to something. I don't know. I'm on the fence about it, I guess is what I'm saying.
I feel like if it
you're putting a lot
came
of
to the
trust
time,
in the person you're giving that access to.
yeah.
If they're great intentions, like what I believe Elon Musk's intentions are, I'm all for it, because I think it could be used for great things, and I think that's what his intentions are. Now, that and what actually hits the market, we'll see what that ends up being.
I mean, I think of it this way: if it's already proven to work well and everyone's doing it, I feel like you'd have to. You know what I mean? Like, once it got to a certain point to where, like, if you didn't, it set you back in life considerably.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I feel like it's one of those things where...
I think you got to see where it is and if it's the right fit for you.
If I could upgrade to, like, some, like, cyberpunk type shit, it'd be cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's good. Like, to some degree, it'd be awesome.
Or would you rather, instead of, like, the brain type stuff, would you rather, like, physical augmentations? Like, imagine being able to get,
being like half cyborg. But
yeah, or
like
enhanced muscle
like,
fibers or bones or tendons that would allow you
that would
to
be super
do
cool.
better.
But
I mean, you could get eyes that let you see better.
No,
you
I
might
think it's
need
all
a Neuralink for that.
It's just
if that gene therapy doesn't fix it.
Yeah, it's just a lot of trust you're putting in the manufacturer, I guess is what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
I think I'm all for it. If the intentions are all out there in the open.
Oh, we did a full 40.
Yeah, that sounds good because my back's starting.
Well, we were doing good. Like I think this was one of our best podcasts, conversation-wise, because we just kept it rolling.
Yeah. But,
I really appreciate you guys being here, and we'll come back with our next one tomorrow.
Shout out to everybody in chat.
Yep. Tim, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it.
Everybody let us know your favorite conspiracies down in the comments. Maybe we'll talk about them next.